In this review, I'm going to be discussing a magazine option for the Ruger LCP. This magazine is made by a company called ProMag. This particular one is a 6-round blued magazine. Carries a model number of RUG13. ProMag also has 10-round magazines and 15-round magazines if you wanted to extend the capacity of your Ruger LCP that much. Now, according to ProMag and what's on their website, the bodies of the magazine are constructed of high carbon heat treated steel and TIG welded for strength. The springs are precision wound using heat treated chrome silicon wire. Bases and followers are injection molded from polymers selected for their durability. The result is quality, consistency, durability, and reliability. That's pretty much what's on ProMag's website. I purchased one of these mainly because I prefer chrome silicon springs over stainless steel springs. They don't take a set, they last longer, and so on. So to me, that's a better material to use for a magazine spring and buffer springs and so on. So the price on this magazine varies depending upon where you buy it. It is definitely cheaper than buying a factory Ruger magazine, and I believe the price is somewhere between $13 and $15. On the left here is the original Ruger 6-round blued magazine, and still in the package is the ProMag. This is their standard POP packaging, or their point of purchase packaging that's designed to hang on a pegboard in a shop. Just reading the back real quick. Lifetime guarantee against manufacturer's defects. That's about the only thing that I didn't mention. Website www.promagindustries.com. Anyway, let me take this out of the packaging here, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Okay. Okay, you can see that both of these magazines are very similar in appearance. It would be very difficult to tell them apart. Obviously, the ProMag, it's a made in USA product as well. It says ProMag on it. The Ruger magazine just says 380 made in the USA. There are count indicators on the Ruger magazine, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is not present on the ProMag, although both magazines do have a window, so you can visually see, get an idea of how many rounds are left in your magazine. The finger extension on the ProMag is stylized a bit different than the Ruger. Obviously, the Ruger says Ruger on the bottom with the little Ruger logo. The ProMag doesn't say anything on the bottom. And the reverse, you can see on the reverse side of the Ruger, you've got the Ruger logo, the number count, and you've also got visual indicator holes on the reverse. The ProMag does not have those. So if you're going to check round content in the magazine with a ProMag, you're going to have to pull it out and flip it over to do that. So I don't consider that a negative personally. Now the followers, obviously it's a polymer follower. They appear to be designed roughly the same. It's hard for me to tell you if one's better than the other. What I can do though is I can, for example, this is the Ruger. I can just put some rounds in it. I'm not going to put this in the firearm or cycle it or anything like that. Not while I'm messing around with the camera. So we've got the visual indicators on both sides. No issues that I've noticed so far with the Ruger magazine or the follower. Now ProMag, obviously I just took this out, so this is brand new. Now my initial thoughts, the ProMag is much easier to load, so that's obviously indicating that this spring is not as stiff as the Ruger spring. I'll take both magazines apart and we'll take a look at see if I can see anything with the springs. But the ProMag definitely appears to have a lighter spring in it. Now as for fitment, drops free, the ProMag drops free. There's a bit of wiggle with an empty magazine. The contour and the size of the finger extension on the ProMag is roughly the same as Ruger, so it's not like it's an extended extension. It would be nice if it came with the extended extension. I've noticed the Ruger magazines seem to be a little bit more stiff to try and lock into place. There's a bit of wobble with the Ruger magazine as well. What comes to mind right off the bat is these count holes. I don't know why they put them on the right side. Being that I'm right-handed, if I was going to eject this magazine and do a quick check, I'd want those on the left. So at this point, that's a negative in my book. Why they didn't put them on both sides of the magazine is interesting, but I would figure that the majority of shooters are probably right-handed, and those holes should be on the left side of the magazine. So fitment, wobble, pretty comparable. I can't see anything aside from these count holes on the ProMag. I don't see anything really jumping out at me at this point. Let me go ahead and take these two magazines apart, and we'll take a look at what's inside and see if we can see anything that jumps out at us. Okay, the Ruger factory magazines on the left, these components, and this is the ProMag. After taking these apart, a couple things jump out at me. The follower on the ProMag, you can see the follower here is got a lot less material on it on one side compared to, say, the follower on the Ruger factory magazine. You can see that it's got the same amount of material on both sides. So this follower, the Ruger follower, to me would be a stronger item. I don't know why there's a cutaway on this one. Either that's to save weight, or cut down on costs. So I don't know the logic behind that, but these things are extremely light. I can't see cutting out half the side of this is saving weight. There wouldn't be hardly any weight savings to brag about. So cutting out half this follower compromises its integrity. So long-term viability of this is in question at this point. The plate that secures the base plate onto the magazine, you can see it's just sitting here on the ProMag, whereas on the Ruger you can see that plate is actually secured to the spring, so you're not going to lose it, you're not going to drop it, put it in backwards, or by removing the finger extension it's not going to pop out. So the fact that it's captured is an excellent idea. So again, better design there. The spring, they both have 11 coils. Supposedly this one is chrome silicon. I don't actually know what this one is made out of. The factory Ruger spring is stiffer. The actual construction of the actual steel casing of the magazine, from what I can see on the Ruger, it's built very well, aside from the lack of inspection holes on the other side of it. So at this point, that's about all I can look at with the magazine. I'll have to do a follow-up when I get to the range and actually use the magazine. I think it's a usable magazine, but I think ProMag has compromised in a few areas that I question the logic behind. I think these little drawbacks, I don't know if they'll actually hurt long-term viability. So the biggest complaint I'd have at this point is the lack of inspection holes on the other side of the magazine. Other than that, we'll just have to see reliability-wise how well it holds up down the road. So I don't have anything else to add to this. I will make some comments and follow up once I get the magazine to the range and have the chance to shoot it, make sure that it feeds correctly. So that's the ProMag 6-round blued magazine for the Ruger LCP.